afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be in the world today. Thank you very much for joining us for our occupational therapy webinar at Royal Holloway, University of London. But thank you very much for joining us. My name is Caroline. I'm the head of international student recruitment. So me and my team are here to support all applicants through their journey, kind of first finding out about Royal Holloway and our courses, all the way through to if you choose Royal Holloway and you join us in September, kind of throughout that journey to provide support, to make sure that you know everything you need to know for moving country and joining us and everything about the course. I'm joined this morning by my lovely colleague, Samita. I'm going to try and pronounce this well with a good Indian accent, Samita Kurvi, who is fabulous, who is our course director for the pre-registration occupational therapy course. I will hand over now. Thank you very much for coming, and I will be back towards the end with some questions. But over to you, Samita. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Caroline. Thanks for a lovely introduction. So again, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Lovely to see you all here. And my name is Samita Kirve. I'm an occupational therapist. I've been OT for 28 years now. So I did my graduation in India. And then I practiced in India for 10 years before moving to UK for the last 18 years. And I've worked in very different settings. I worked in government hospital. I had my independent practice. I worked in different other like acute settings, community settings with social services. The reason I'm sharing this, it's just occupational therapy offers so many opportunities for your career, and you can work in very, very different settings. You can work in charities, you can work in with insurance companies, you can work in hospices, you can work with voluntary or independent organizations, you can have your own independent practice. Okay, let's have a look at how we are going to do this program at Royal Holloway. So it's a very unique program and new program that we are introducing at Royal Holloway. Welcome to Royal Holloway, and this is our very unique course. So this is a part of Department of Health Studies, and our Department of Health Studies is a new department, which is a very unique department. So you will be actually working alongside different people. We have anthropologists, we have specialists in sustainability, specialists in public health. And this is what is unique about our program, that it's a very non-traditional program compared with other universities. So welcome to this webinar and welcome to Royal Holloway and Department of Health Studies. So what is occupational therapy? I'm wondering whether you've heard of occupational therapy, whether you've read about occupational therapy. So it's a client-centered health profession which is concerned with promoting health and well-being through occupation. When we say occupation, occupation is different than vocation, and people get really confused. When we say occupation, they think about job, but occupation is mainly about, doing activities. So the primary goal of OT is to enable people to participate in the activities of everyday life. Those activities can be very different for individual person, and that's why it's very client-centered, person-centered health profession. Occupational therapists, we work with people and communities to enhance their ability to engage in different occupations they want to, and they need to, or they're expected to. So we can modify the environment, we can modify different activities. We really support them to improve their occupational engagement. As I said about my personal experience, we work in different settings. So you can work in National Health Service, social services, voluntary organizations, even with GP services. And I'm pleased to say that we have actually secured placements in GP services, which is not very common across UK at the moment. So our university is going to be very unique in that sense that we are offering placements in very different areas so that you have those skills to work in different settings. Then as an OT, I even worked in forensic services. So we OTs, we work in prisons for forensic services, independent practice. And the other thing, occupational therapy is the profession where you can work from 0 age to 100 plus. So you can work across all the ages with all the age groups. We are the only profession who work in physical and mental health settings. So there are a few healthcare professions where they're just limited to one particular setting. But as an OT, you can work across very different settings. I've got few links here, but just to avoid spending too much time watching the links, what we can do, I'm happy to add those links in the chat box later on, so you can watch in leisure, in your own time and space. So there are few links here about what is OT, in case you don't know what occupational therapy is, how we work in different settings. And in the UK, we have our professional body called Royal College of Occupational Therapy. So I've also added a link from Royal College of OT. Yeah. So what's unique about the Royal Holloway MSc OT course? So as I said earlier, it's a very innovative and unique course. Our focus is going to be on very much contemporary OT approaches, such as sustainability, disaster management, and tackling global health issues. Now, if you look at the program specification across other universities, this is something very unique that we are offering at Royal Holloway. We are going to have a smaller cohort size, so your cohort is not going to be very huge. It's a good cultural mix. As I said, we've got staff with expertise in global health, sustainability, occupational therapy, with a lot of research experience. The next thing, which is very unique, is we are offering 4 placements, and out of that, there are going to be 2 part-time placements in year 1, just to make sure that you are supported well. And then the next 2 full-time placements to make sure that you have got enough time and enough depth to acquire those skills and knowledge which are required as an occupational therapist. We have included a variety of inclusive assessments. Now, some of the universities you will find they are quite focused on academic writing, but what we have done here, our program is more like a co-production. So we involved students when we were designing this program. We've involved service users. So service users are people who've had some experience with occupational therapy, or they've got certain conditions, so we've incorporated their input. We also incorporated input from OT clinicians and OT educators. So our program is more like a co-productions, and that's why we have a really variety of inclusive assessments. So we've included some simulations, and you will actually have a lot of input or a lot of communication with OT clinicians and service users and carers during your assessments, during your practice placement. So as I said, again, it's a very closer collaboration with service users and OT clinicians in our program. So I'm sorry, there is too much material on this slide, but there are some entry requirements. I'm not going to go into the blue box because that information is already available on the web page, but we are looking for students who have good command of English, both written and spoken. And the reason for that, because this is the degree in UK, and when you're on placement, you should be able to communicate well in English with your clients, with your OT clinicians. You should be able to write, good reports, because as an OT, you will be writing lots of assessments. You will be writing lots of reports. So you have to make sure that you have got really good command of English. And that's why all the international students, they have to have IELTS score of 7. This is something like, a requirement from our professional and statutory body. I will talk about our professional and statutory bodies a little bit later in detail. You should be able to attend an individual or group interview. At the moment, we are doing mostly online interviews, especially for international students. You have to have necessary academic qualifications. Now, at the moment, we are not very particular about your undergrad degrees as far as you're really motivated and you really want to this healthcare profession. But we would definitely appreciate if you've got some understanding of research methods and completion of some research projects at your undergraduate level. And the reason for this is because this is the master's level program. It is a level 7 program, so you have to have some understanding about research methods at your undergraduate level. You should be able to submit your original academic certificates. There are other requirements that we have here in the UK is called DBS, so Disclosure and Barring Service, or you can even call it International Police Check. So this is something, it's a requirement of our bodies, because you will be actually treating patients and you have to have really good, background police check. The next point is about occupational health clearance. So you have to be able to be fit physically and mentally to do this course, and also to be able to, look after other people when you're treating patients. That doesn't mean if somebody's got any kind of physical or mental disability or any special learning needs. We definitely we'll try and have lots of reasonable adjustments. But if you want to talk about, your special needs, definitely we have our student support services. You can even possibly email me if you're applying, or if you're successful at the interview, you can directly get in touch with me and we can talk about this in detail. Yeah, so these are a few kind of essential entry requirements. These are other requirements, or I would say added, skills that one should have, because we are looking for a student who is really compassionate, who's got good communication skill. Occupational therapy is a healthcare profession, so you will be working with lots of different teams. And the reason I always insist this, because sometimes you choose a career and then you start doing that program and you realize actually this is not for me. So make your decision wisely, definitely think about it, do a little bit of, research, talk to occupational therapist, or maybe work with occupational therapists, shadow them, get a little bit of work experience and see whether this is the right course for you. And because we work in teams, you have to be a person who is okay to work in teams. And even if you like, if you want to work alone or single as a single kind of practitioner, that there's nothing wrong in that, but maybe occupational therapy is not the right profession for you. We are looking for someone who is more resilient, who is, thinker in terms of sustainability, because our course is focused on sustainability. So we want somebody who is kind of already thinking about sustainability, who is more collaborative, who is curious, who is inquiring. I don't want to kind of scare you with all these kind of, demands, but this is something, we really want somebody who is more kind of passionate about being an occupational therapist. Apart from that, definitely we want someone who has respect for equality and diversity, because you'll be working with, people, with other students, with clinicians who come from a very diverse backgrounds. And of course, last but not the least, definitely have a look on the Royal Holloway's website, look at what our values are, and we definitely would like a student who is, in line with those values. This is a bit about course structure. So you can see we've got modules, 4 modules each year, and it's total 180 credits. So the modules in year 1, we've got 4 modules, and there are 2 modules which are linked with your practice placement preparation. In the second year, we've got some modules which are again linked with your practice placement 3 and 4. You also have a research project, which is a dissertation, which is 30 credit. And the other modules, these occupational therapy with a global perspective, human sciences, these are core OT modules. Contemporary practice in OT, that's another core module. There is a module called collaborative practice. So this is where you will be learning a lot about how you work with different multidisciplinary team members, with other people. And rest 4 modules like occupation in practice 1, occupation in practice 2, research in practice, and again collaborative practice. These are linked with practice placement preparation. So whatever you're going to do in practice placement, we try and teach you some of the skills in the preparation modules. We've kept it quite simple and straightforward, really. So this is how the structure will look like. So the modules in green, you can see those are long modules. They will go across your term 1 and 2. And in term 3, you do have a summer break, but I'll be very honest with you. Mostly we will use your summer break for either, if there are some resets for your placements or modules, but we'll be organizing lots of additional study workshops and skill development sessions in summer break. So I know, most of you are international students and you definitely would like to go and meet your family. So you will have some summer break, but I'll be very honest, it's not going to be a very long summer break. For example, many other students might get a long summer break, but OT course may not have a long summer break. And then year 2, you will have 1 module which goes across both the terms. And another thing, in the summer break, you might actually start looking at your research projects. So that's other additional kind of workshop and skill development during summer. Because this is the MSc program, I must say that it is quite intensive, and just make sure you're really prepared for this. For 2 years, you really are focused in your studies. A little bit about our academic team. So we have a team of experts. So definitely Professor Alexandra Palombi, she's our head of the department, and she's also an experienced occupational therapist. I am Samita, so I'm a course director and senior lecturer. just recently appointed our OT placement lead. She's also an expert clinician, Catherine. Apart from that, we've got other lecturers and Anusha, Lynn. They are really experts in their own fields. For example, Anusha is an expert in anatomy and physiology and is expert in mental health and well-being. Lynn is an expert in psychology, sociology. And we have Natalie. Natalie is our technical operations manager. So Natalie would be kind of helping you with your DBS, occupational health, clearance, and lots of different other things. Alongside academic course team, we also have something called learning support team. So we have simulation technician, we have hired a simulation suite, and we'll have dedicated technicians over there. You have your dedicated academic librarian for OT course. We have also got somebody called a teaching fellow. This is again very unique to Royal Holloway. You won't see this in other universities. Dr. David, so he's our teaching fellow, and he kind of gives you additional support if you're struggling with any assignments, if you're struggling to understand feedback, if you don't follow anything in the modules. So you have your module team, you have me, you have your other lecturers, and then in addition, you have David to help you. And we have our expert school admin team to help you with any things that you need help with settling down here. This is an important component of the OT course, so something we call practice-based learning. So I'm not sure whether you're aware about this term, but we have something called practice placements. And in the UK, there is a requirement that you have to have minimum of 1,000 hours in practice to graduate. So, and accordingly, we have kind of designed your 4 practice placements. So your 4 practice placements actually, combines all those hours are more than 1,000 hours. So you have to have at least minimum 1,000 hours. The placements will be offered around Surrey and borders. You might have some placements in London, or sometimes students might say, oh, I actually want to work in a particular area. So we will try and find the placements for you. You just have to be mindful that there are additional costs related to the placements like travel, accommodation. So this is not covered by the university. You might have additional costs for your occupational health follow-ups. So the initial assessment will be organized by the university, but if there is something, they might say, oh, you need to do a follow-up for your occupational health clearance, or you might have to do certain vaccinations or immunizations. So that extra cost, you have to be mindful about that. We have lots of really great offers for placement. So this is really something I would say, because, with my other universities where I worked, I would say with Royal Holloway, we are really fortunate to have a variety of placements already on offer. You have really a good combination of traditional and non-traditional settings. There is one thing I would like to kind of share with you with the placements, because this is the crucial part of the OT course. If you fail your first placement, you will be offered another kind of opportunities to do a reset in that placement. But if somebody fails the reset, unfortunately, that student will be out of the course, because it is quite strict that you pass your placements. Yeah, this is an essential requirement by our professional bodies. But don't worry about that. You will get a lot of support from your practice educator, from academic team. So we are here to support you. So definitely we'll make sure that you kind of gain all those competencies which are needed for you to pass a placement. Okay, now learning spaces. So I'm really excited because we are going to get a really brand new learning space. So occupational therapy course is going to be on Egham campus of Royal Holloway University, but we are actually on the opposite side of Egham campus. It's a brand new space called Chestnuts. I've got some pictures in this next slide. So we will have a really lovely lecture theater. We've got new classrooms. We have creative room, and the creative room is so adaptable and flexible. We will possibly convert that into splinting room, and we are planning to do lots of different activities in that creative room. So it's a really exciting time that we will have our own space. Apart from that, we have a virtual reality lab. We have anatomy TV with 3D models. So it's really lots of different exciting things. Royal Holloway, University of London is quite keen on virtual reality, and we've got something called Story Future. So you will be kind of working alongside, different other students or different other departments to have really good learning experience. So this is our chestnut. So it's currently, there is some work going on and it should be hopefully ready by next month. But this is how it is going to look like. And believe me, I mean, even our EGM campus, it's so beautiful. You will, when you come here, you'll really enjoy this. So moving on to our professional and statutory bodies. So in the UK, to work in the UK, you have to be registered with Healthcare Professions Council. So that's our statutory body. And we have a professional body called Royal College of OT. So our program is meeting all these PSRB requirements. So this is just for your understanding. And then if you're really keen to know a bit more, I'm happy to put the links in the chat box later on. So have a look through what do you mean by standards of proficiency? What do you mean by all these different standards? Because in the UK, we have to follow certain policies and standards to be able to study OT course and to be able to work as an occupational therapist. Along with this Royal College of OT and HCPC standards, we also have mapped our program with the framework of higher education qualifications. And we have our own academic quality and policy. So you can see this particular course has been kind of critically assessed. This has been scrutinized by different bodies. So we have to make sure that we are offering a very competent course, and it's fit for purpose. So I'm not going to spend too much on standards. Possibly it's your, bedtime reading. Moving on to another standard, which is also very important, is about fitness to study and practice. So I think I've been saying this a lot in my presentation, that is this the right career for you? So make sure you're choosing the right career. You're spending your time, you're spending your money, and if you're an international student, you're coming away from your home in a different country, you're trying to adjust to different cultures, different weather conditions. So make sure you're choosing the right course, whether this is really the course that you want to do. You don't want to be in a situation that you're not meeting any particular regulations or anything. So make sure that you make the right choice. So these are a few standards that we have to follow in terms of fitness to study and practice. We also have our fitness to practice policy, which is the university policy. So we follow both the policies by our professional bodies as well as the fitness to practice policy by the university. Okay, so career as an occupational therapist. So as I said, I'm an international OT. So I did my graduation in India, in Mumbai. And after successful completion of the course, this course is very global course. After you complete this, you're eligible to apply for a registration as an occupational therapist with HCPC. And you can also apply for a professional membership with RCOT. With RCOT, with Royal College of OT, you can also apply as a student member. So whilst you're doing OT course with Royal Holloway, you're eligible to apply as a student member with RCOT, which has got lots of different benefits, I must say that. So once you complete this course, you will have different registrations. And as I said, OT is a global profession. You can actually carry this degree to any country. So it's a portable degree across any country in the globe. However, you have to really complete the country-specific registration requirements. So for example, if you decide, oh, I would like to go and practice in New Zealand, or I would like to go and practice in Australia or Canada or Hong Kong or Singapore, that's perfectly fine. You can carry this degree, so you don't have to repeat your degree, but each country, they have their own registration requirements. So for example, I'll give you my example. I did my graduation and I was practicing as an OT in India. But when I moved here 18 years back, definitely I had to go through HCPC registration requirements. So those are like independent, different requirements of that country. If you go to USA, they have their American Board of Occupational Therapy. So you might have to, do certain exams or something. In Canada, they have their Canadian Board of Occupational Therapy. So they have their own kind of registration requirements. But you don't have to repeat your degree. So that's something is very assuring. I've got some more links here about, health careers in the UK and what is OT as a career by Royal College of OT. So I'm more than happy to put those links in the chat box later on. A little bit about student support. So at Royal Holloway, when you join this course, you will be allocated a personal tutor. So personal tutor is a person that will stay with you throughout your journey. And you will be allocated personal tutor in the first, few weeks of your OT course. that personal tutor is not just about giving you some academic support. If you've got any other challenges or any other difficulties, definitely that's the person you can approach in the first place. We also have a health studies student society. So you will be interacting with lots of other students from Department of Health Studies. We are like a very nice small family, to be honest. Yeah, and we've got PhD students, we've got students doing different other courses within our department. So you will be part of this family. You will have support from academic librarian. So as I said, Debbie is our academic librarian, and she's really lovely. So anything that you're struggling with, for example, you might say, oh, I'm actually not understanding how to do referencing. You can have a session with Debbie. Apart from that, we have got Center of Development of Academic Skills. So CIDAS is another really good center where you can approach different people. There are many support services that they can help you with. We have Info Hub, so that is, I think, all the student services in one place. So that's where you can possibly start contacting if you're struggling with anything. We take student voice very seriously in Royal Holloway. So there was some project which was done, something called RHB Heard, which was very successful. So you can actually report to RHB Heard if there is something you're not happy about. But I would say I think your personal tutor is your first point of contact if there is something which you're not happy or you're struggling with. I talked about teaching fellow, so he's there to support you in addition to your personal tutor and your course team. We have an international advice team. So if you're an international student, definitely there is a dedicated advice team they can help you with. We have a disability and neurodiversity team. So if you've got certain needs, special needs, or certain requirements, definitely, DNS, they are here to help you. Apart from that, we've got student wellbeing services, finance services, career service. So you can see there is a lot of support. So you don't feel that you're alone. You can reach out to different parties for help. As I said earlier, we really take student engagement and student voice very seriously at Royal Holloway. We have Royal Holloway Student Union. You will be asked to do lots of module evaluations. You will be invited to annual course review meeting. Again, you will be asked to do some national student surveys. So there are different kind of platforms where you can voice out your, definitely whatever like good and bad suggestions, whatever you feel about the program, whatever you feel about the, the Royal Holloway experience. If there are any engagement issues, definitely that's another thing. Why is this happening? That's good to share with your course teams. If there isn't anything clear, if you are not sure whom to approach, again, I would say start with your personal tutor in the first place. And Royal Holloway also follows a very strict equality, diversity, and inclusion policy. We have a dignity and respect policy. We also have something called Ally. It's a new Moodle-based service which helps you with if somebody's struggling with understanding content, then you definitely through this Moodle-based service, you can get it into different alternative formats. If you have any special learning or physical needs, definitely talk to us. As I said, people are very approachable at Royal Holloway, and definitely, they will be here to help you. Okay, so we look forward to welcome you in September 2024. We've got some social media, so you can follow us on Instagram. We have a special Instagram account with health studies. We also have a Twitter account, which used to be Twitter, now it's X. So yes, we really are excited and looking forward to seeing you in 2024.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Samita. I've learnt a lot. So hopefully that was very useful
Thank
to
you.
our huge group of attendees. Actually, the numbers really
Oh,
increased whilst you were
23.
presenting as well, which is nice to
That's
see.
exciting. Yes.
Please, everybody, do feel free to answer any questions. I know that covered a lot, but please, any questions about the course specifically or about Royal Holloway. You can see from our background pictures just how beautiful the campus is, and you may well know already, but we're a kind of University of London university, but not in central London. About 30 to 40 minutes on the train to central London. For me is a big plus. I love London, but by being outside of London means we have this gorgeous green campus. It's also a lot cheaper as well. Lots of facilities on campus, cafes, a pub, all kind of pubs, bars, kind of everything kind of you need, shops, facilities. But we're based in a town called Egham, as Samita mentioned, in kind of Surrey, and London, like I say, is 30 to 40 minutes away. So just to give you a bit of background kind of on Royal Holloway. And we're also very well known internationally. We're a top 30 university. We're top 10 for many courses as well. And our health department, which this course sits in, is kind of very highly recognised as well. So just a little bit of background information if anyone didn't know that. I'm also going to put a link in the chat to some pre-departure webinars that we have coming up. So there's 3 running, 1 per month. The first one starts next Thursday. Same time, 9 a.m. or 5 p.m. actually for all of those. And they are based for kind of focusing on students that are hoping to start with us this September, and a variety of kind of different information to get you ready to feel ready to move to Royal Holloway and start your next year, 2 years, 3 years with us. So yes, just a link there. But next Thursday, we start with our kind of getting CAS and visa ready, and it has a lot of information on accommodation as well. So if you'd like to join us, I will be hosting that. There isn't any questions coming in, Samita, so I think you may well have answered, hopefully, everything that everyone wanted to know. We can send you some links as well to the course page. There's lots of information online. It has information on the modules kind of in a lot more detail and what you would cover. Lots more information on placements as well that Samita covered. So yes, please
I've
do
just added a link there. What is OT? Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay, well, I think that's everything. Thank you very much, Samita. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And like I say, we can send the recording out and some links as well. And any questions, any kind of interest, please do get in contact with myself, with the team. We have an email. Actually, let me put just the international@royalholloway.ac.uk. That's the email that comes through to me and my colleagues. And yeah, we can answer any questions. You can speak with us online. You can book meetings in with the team as well, or speak with our students. But thank you, everybody. Have a lovely rest of your day. And thank you again,
Thank you.
Samita.
I just would like to add that if there are any kind of questions about OT or like practicing OT anywhere, definitely feel free to email us. I mean, you can email it to the International Advice Team and they can, pass it on to me. So more than happy to help with that. Yeah.
Thank you.
But lovely to see you all. Thank you. That's a great, yeah. Thank you.
Have a good day, everybody. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, everyone.